Good day, viewers. Once again, welcome to my YouTube channel. Usually, I'll bring you the very best here. Simon Ekpa's case has been taken to another level currently because the federal government of Nigeria is currently lobbying with the Finland government so that they could keep Simon Ekpa for another 6 months. Why? If you have an evidence. You have an evidence. If there's an evidence against Simon Ekpa, why are they lobbying with the Finnish government to still keep him for another 6 months?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending your time zone. May the Lord bless you. I want to first and foremost appreciate our PM, person of Master Simon Ekpa, and I want for his resilience regarding to this struggle. And I want to appreciate Master Nnamdi Kanu too, who stood on his ground, not minding the billions of bribe and the oil well to just shut up the case of Biafra, the freedom of the people. I want to appreciate them, and I want to appreciate God who encouraged them and who has been on their side. And I want to appreciate the Deputy PM herself in person of Orabeze and Rachel Nwosu in Israel and every other well-meaning Biafrans who have been on the case, both those who have lost their loved ones and those who are still in the case of struggling and surviving for this. And the same, may the Lord be with you all in the name of Jesus Christ. My dear brother, it is a game that I see it as a game, but I'm using this opportunity. I will not fail to appreciate Masanga. Yeah, Dr. Masanga, may the Lord be with you and your family. And I accept my condolences regarding to, because I heard that you lost your wife. I say, may God console you in the name of Jesus Christ. Back in the question, Nigerian government is lobbying so seriously to keep Simon Ekpa in the next. Do you know why they are doing that? In the next 6 months, so that they can be able to finish their criminal election. Yes, because there is a fear, because the fear of Simon Ekpa outside is the beginning of Nigerian wisdom inside. How do I mean? Nigerian government is afraid that if they should release any of these people, because if you come to think of this issue now, who is the Biafrans listening to? Because their government, in the person of their governors, doesn't speak to their ears, and I expect them to obey. I will give you an example why it's like it appears like that. You can take a look as an example of a sit at home. Ever since a sit at home, the Nigerian governors imposed Fulanis in the east, Soludo and the likes of them have done everything humanly possible in their own capability, to stop this sitting at home. But what happened? Did the people pay attention to them? Nobody mind them. So they are not speaking what we want to hear. And that is why nobody is paying attention to them. But if Simon Ekpa, a person of Simon Ekpa, now comes out, imagine him speak now. Everybody will listen. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu speak, everybody will listen. You see why they are afraid of these two people? That they are the only people that their people are listening to. And the election is forthcoming in 2027. So if any of them should be outside, there is every tendency of them giving an order of whatsoever. And people are ready to carry it out, to obey, to abide, and to follow to the core. You see why they are afraid. And you see why they are lobbying. And why another point is this of the lobbying. That lobbying is this, to make sure that Simon Ekpa and the silent Simon Ekpa, since they could not succeed, because there was a game that played against Simon Ekpa. Nigeria plotted, they carried a plane, a jet, very close, like, let me say 50 to 100 kilometers to Leyte, where Simon Ekpa court case was, going on. So their mindset and their plan and their game was, if you listen on Wednesday, being, I think it should be 12, Simon Ekpa, or on the 11th, Simon Ekpa made a statement, being Tuesday. He said he doesn't know where they are taking him to from here. I think it should be Wednesday. Yes, it should be Wednesday. He said, so far so good. He's on a winning side. He's conquering, and that the truth will come outside. at the end of the day. But he doesn't know where they are taking because they are going to move him from here. Nigeria have already planned with Alexandra Stop because he's a criminal president, prime minister in Finland. So both of them arrange so that they can move Simon Ekpa overnight to that very place so that the next thing you will hear they have rendition of Simon Ekpa illegally, just the same way they did in the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu down to Nigeria. It was Masanga, Dr. Masanga, the Pan-African president, that get the information. He was alert. I don't know how he got the information. He has to alert his team group. So they have to reinforce to make sure that Simon Ekpan was not moved that night on that very day. You get the point now? You see why they are doing this lobby. And they know that if they should continue, because the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have exposed Nigeria and it have reduced Nigeria and it have endangered the image of this country, including the Mr. President. I don't know if you are conversant in the internet, you will see both to the white, they are not speaking good about Nigerian government. You get the point now? So they are lobbying so that they can bring the man. That is number 2 point. Another thing they are lobbying is to rubbish the case. So that the way they use the judgment as an American without the law, they will use it to rubbish and to, to imprison, to put Simon Ekpa into life imprisonment. Because every agenda of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is to make sure, and Nigeria is to make sure that they silence the voice of Biafra. But they have seen it that it is not possible and it's not going to play. That's why you see them doing what they are doing. I'm following it up. Go to your tweet, to your X, you get the information. I watch. You get the point? And I said, now listen to me. And I asked a question when I was interviewed in Citizen. I said, listen to me. A man called, is it Sheifat whatsoever, Sheifat, somebody like that, nigger of from northern side. You get it? Say that the Christians are infidel.
Yaya Jinge.
Yaya Jinge, God bless you. Yaya Jinge calling the Christians in Nigeria infidel. And this thing now prompt me shame to so-called the GOs in Nigeria. Shame. Those of them that are dancing in the corridor of a Muslim ticket, in the corridor, Redeemed Pastor and the other one, what is he calling himself? Tunde Bakari and the likes of them. You see, if it's an Igbo up to this very moment, the man stood his ground. You understand?
He said he does not regret
it.
He
did not regret. He said he did not regret of making. He said he's not, because Nigeria is already a Muslim nation. And anybody that they should leave. And this is a total stranger to the country. And I didn't blame him. If it's an Igbo man now, Tinubu will send them to go arrest him. Yes. Because they say what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said, even in, not in Nigeria here, but in London. They say it's a case, it's an issue in Nigeria. Which on a norm, it was in the UK that they're supposed to treat this case. Such case of the utterance according to the law. But they now, because it's Igbo, a Christian for that matter. So where are we heading to? You see why we will continue to make progress. We continue to. Nigeria, I think that they can bribe. They believe in bribe. And bribe is against. It's a criminal act according to the international law. Are you aware? Bribe is what is a criminal act against international law. And that was why in the congressmen, if not that they rebuke the $9 million, Nigerian government, Tinubu government was busy funding them. It was on paper, it was every day, everywhere. The news fly out to silence Biafra. You get the point? So all these things, my brother, are the things Nigerian government. It was on the 13th that Nigerian actually, Bianco Ono and the likes of them appeared, because they don't really appear. They have been avoiding the court.
They appeared in Finland.
They appeared in Finland. So as soon as they appear, they now decided to play the Nigerian system in Finland. That is, and that thing alone has made me to see Finland, especially their Prime Minister Alexandra Stubb, as in fact that man become useless before my eyes. it shows that this man is a total criminal. Are you aware on the 13th, because yesterday was 14th, that on the 13th, that same Thursday, that we came to understand that the reason why they arrested Simon Ekpa was the reason of economical personal interest growth,
How?
not because he actually commit a crime. How do I mean? The contract of oil and gas given to the Finnish prime minister by Nigerian government. It was as a result of that oil and gas. And who are the owner of oil and gas? Is it a Nigerian property?
It's in Nigeria.
Does it belong to Nigeria? See, there is something that people don't really understand. If this oil and the gas and coal were to be in the north, are you telling me that these Fulanis will still remain in Nigeria? Or is in Europe and they will not fight it to stay on their, since they will stay on their own? Let's be sincere to ourselves. I do tell people that one Nigeria is because of the oil and gas that is in Biafra land. That is one Nigeria. Beside these things, there are nothing like one Nigeria. Because Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, I quote and I quote again, 1997, April 13, that I did not believe in one Nigeria. The same man that is telling you one Nigeria to do. That's why I give you dates. You can do your findings. So what am I saying? They came to the court. Do you know the next game they play? They play Nigeria. And that Nigeria they played was the game of what played in Nigeria in election day 2023. They say we are using server. We are going to use electronics. On the process of it, when they saw what was going on in electrical this thing, processing, guess what happened? They have to bridge it in order to do what? To do their manipulation. It was the same thing that played in Finland. When they saw the electronic system processing, they saw where it was going and the directions and how people and how both, because the thing draw global attention. Do you understand? So when they saw, the court saw the responses of the well-meaning, when you talk of the prominent people in the world, they cut it off, telling you and I that the system have faults. So we are now telling them, fix it before Monday. You get it? Which they have promised that from that yesterday to Monday, they are going to fix it. That is Nigeria for you, because they are looking for a way of their manipulation. You see, this time around, it's not going to be funny. You know, the Europeans send a 20, you know, Simon Ekpa, 27 lawyers. Are you aware? To back him up regarding to this case. Regarding to this matter. Beside Masanga and his team group, beside USB and their team group, Europeans on their own, because this matter has become a matter of concern because of what the killing of the Christians in Nigeria, and many of them, and all of them, and including Nigerian government, are denying of it. You think that Europeans or the international bodies are not as stupid as you people are in this country? Do you know, my brother, let me tell you something that many people don't know much today, and that is the reason why I took my time to appreciate Masanga, which I know that God will bless him and his generation for standing out for truth, standing out for Biafra, and standing out for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay.
Was there a place from the mouth of any Nigerian government or any Nigerian, including Omotoshi, who judge Kanu without a law? Do you hear anything from their mouth that the illegal rendition that they did, they carried out against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that the Masanga wrote a letter and he reported to UK court, and UK court said clearly that he should go back and bring evidence regarding to that? Are you aware? They didn't say it. Nobody utters it. Masanga has to come back again to Kenya to document everything and return it back to Kenya, to UK. so that they have to intervene in the case of Mazen Namdekan. But guess what? Because Nigeria is their company, they bounce it back, they never even, they receive it well, but they never attend to it. They never responded to it. You see why Masanga took it up to himself, him and his group, to fight for Mazen Namdekan in Kenya. You see why Kenya now did what they did, which resulted Kenya even calling on Nigeria to repatriate Mazen Namdekan back to Kenya. You get the point now. So, and the same document now they have submitted to UN and to EU. Laity is aware of it, of all this. You understand? I know, and I thank God, the God Almighty, that is not sleeping, and He has given us men that are not sleeping too. And they are awake, and they are awake, and we will wake up in our land, the promised land. They play the game because before now, Mazen Namdekan have already conquered Nigeria in the same court. And now Tinubu decided to play his own kangaroo game. Why not? The court have to do it because a lot of heat is hitting Nigeria. Over 501, if I'm not mistaken, of the world Christian nations, lawmakers are converging together. And one of their program is against Nigerian genocide, Christian genocide. And when you mention Christian genocide in Nigeria, you are talking about Biafran going on a mall. The murdering of the Nigerian Biafrans, murdering of the Nigerian Christians. And they are all Biafrans. Mazen Namdekan family brothers. You see why Nigerian government is pushing it to the court and let them use court to play as if their court is functioning. Because who controls the court? Who rules the court? Because Nigerian court doesn't have independence. They are under the influence of every government. So that is why Bola Ahmed Tinubu definitely have to concur. So the concur of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is as a result of what is going on. You know, I always tell you people that what is happening, you cannot get it in Nigerian media. It's difficult. Are you hearing me? It was even obvious that this morning the paper was able to carry it, that they have cut the Congress push it that they should cut the ties, the aids that US have with Nigeria. You get it now? Do you know that the under 15 Igbo boy who won #1 in mathematics in Italy was not in Nigerian media, neither is it in Nigerian paper. They didn't carry it out because it's an Igbo person, a Biafran person. Are you aware? But I'm giving that information now through this media. And that is why if you really want to get the concrete fact from Biafran evangelists, please follow us up. Subscribe. And I want to use this opportunity to tell our viewers, please pass this message, expand it. I am giving you the concrete information because Nigeria cannot give it to you. Remember, there was a time I told you people that they are, even when they say they are bringing a peak or cross appeal that they are going to kick Kanu, I told you people they are not going to kick Kanu. And if you are following me up in the media, if you know me vividly well, there was a time they were saying they are going to. I said there's nothing that will make Nigeria to lay their hand against on Kanu. Because the forces that following Kanu is bigger than Nigeria. And I told you people that when the time comes, the powers, the people that have upper higher against Nigeria will be the one that will speak for Kanu and speak for Biafra. Is it not happening now? If I'm not mistaken, I made this statement either last 2 years, 2024. Yes. I discharged this statement. And today, is it not what is happening? The authorities from above, are they not the ones speaking today? And Nigeria can never disclose it. So the court have seen what is on the ground. That is why the court have to pass. Was it not a Fulani woman that cancelled that cross appeal death of Mazen Namdekan? Why? The Nelson Mandela group intervened. You understand? They saw, and the international amnesty getting involved. And that was the platform that they used again in reaching France. For France, making Macron to make an announcement talking about Biafra on a media. I don't know whether you get the point. So all these things are the game because they have to do everything if they can win America back again. Because cutting ties with Nigeria, Nigeria knows what they are benefiting from American help. Despite the fact that they are not using it, they are not utilizing it. But they know what they are benefiting. They know the impact. So cutting that aid is a serious issue for Nigeria. And that is why now they are doing everything necessary, humanly possible in their own capacity to sort out one or two things that they feel that America is angry with. Because I believe that Congress, one or two persons from America have discussed with Nigerian government, irrespective of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu case, because the judgment was illegal. They have discussed with Nigeria. They have issued warning, of which even UN is against Nigeria today, because they have given Nigeria options several times to free this man unconditionally. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu was busy telling Kanu, you must surrender Biafra. You must hands off. You must not talk this. Let's give you 5 billion. Let's offer you oil. Let's which Sultan of Sokoto confessed. You get the point. So all this heat are the things that is making Nigeria to be dancing this awilo, shaky country, neither here or there. You get my point? So they have to free him because he's an innocent man. Because is there any place that justify the judgment of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in Nigerian constitution? The answer is there. You cannot get it anywhere in the constitution. So why should you keep him? You see why they want to still use the court to do what? To free him, because they use court to jail him. And you know that in every country they have courts, and they have different type of courts. You understand? And they have different type of judges. So, and court to get level. So the one that want to use now, the one that is more superior than that of Motosh, who collected bribe 10 billion to jail innocent person. And the two, ever since you jail Kanu, you jail this man, how good is Nigeria getting? How good is the country moving? That should be the question. And virtually everybody, both the north now, the west, the south, and the east, they are all confessing that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. They are all testifying against the judgment of Nigeria towards Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They are saying the truth now, which Nigeria is denying, which they themselves did not see before, which makes them to support the judgment. Now they are seeing it. So they are now canvassing their protest and their vote of free Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. A country where your citizens are no longer, interested in you. It's a failure. It's a failed nation. So Nigeria is a failed nation. It's a nation that has failed their people, and the people is no longer happy with it, and they are disappointed. So the need has to be done. And regarding to the concur of Mr. President, he is concurring to Mero because the North has vowed to remove him in 2027. They have taken oath that he will not remain there in 2037. They will do everything in their capacity to push him, to kick him out of the office. And no other person, no other people that he can use to counter the North. Despite his political games, which is using, playing with the Fulanis. Are you hearing me? He have a jam head, the Fulani and the Hausa now. They are not like this. Do you understand? But nevertheless, he's not satisfied because he's not seeing winning in it. He decided to concur with the court to free Kanu if he can, so that in case of any city, the people that can stand these people and the people that these people is afraid of is not other people than the Igbos. These people have been the one that, the Fulanis is afraid of. These are the people that can withstand them. You see why he wanted to play Kalu Kalu. No, there is a game called Kalu Kalu. So he want to play that Kalu Kalu game with the Igbos by releasing Kanu, so that he can come and plead. Please, Ekpa me, Emma Binu, Dariji me, forgive me. Baharano. Yana ha Bahara. Mungave evangelist, Biafra evangelist, Anaha Bahara Woka. Oh, Mejogo. He should have done that earlier before now. He should have freed him in that court, use that court to free him instead of sentencing him. Then when it comes like now to tell us, oh yeah, let's play, then we will say, okay, let's play the game. But he has violated the law of humanity. He has offended my ancestors. The water, not the sweet again. So we not go give them the water drink.
Well said, Biafran evangelist. As usual, you've done super analysis. Now, a Biafran agitator has come out clearly to cry, saying, what exactly is the offense of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Because he formed ESN, this man is in prison suffering. But Sunday Igboho is fully armed with men currently, working freely. What kind of marginalization is this? Biafran evangelist, is it true that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu currently, because a lot of viewers that are watching us might not be really educated enough to know, is it as a result of the ESN that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is suffering a lot of this? And they said he was involved in NSAS. What do you have to say concerning this?
3 questions in one.
Hmm.
One, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not outrightly suffering as a result of the ESN.
Okay.
But he is suffering as a result of him trying to liberate his people. Because the bribe and the oil well which they use, the money they want to use to bribe him was not to stop the 5 billion, was not to stop the forming of ESN, but for him to stop agitation. I want you to get it clear.
Okay.
You get it now. Him forming ESN was as a result of to protect his own people. And Igboho forming his own now to protect his own people and is working freely. Igboho has collected his own and concurred to one Nigeria and accepted Islam. So Igboho is a government property. It's an element, and Igboho has a limit at which he can operate. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a separate entity from government. It's a government of its own. You get it now. So anything that he form it outside Nigerian government, and he sign it for the benefit of Biafrans.